Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of The 10, where we talk about top 10 things that pertain to one particular subject. But before we get into that, I am War Machine MJ, he's Dicky, we are the 3 Count Mafia.
Yep.
Now on this episode of The 10, and there's going to be another one following it, it is going to be, I'm trying to phrase this, but it's so long. So I'm just gonna.
It's 10 How can we phrase this? 10 superstars who should transition from one brand to another.
Yeah, before Fox buys. Well, Fox airs Smackdown. There we go.
Yeah, they're gonna be debuting on Fox October of 2019.
No specific date yet, just October.
Yeah, I heard it might be on a Friday.
I mean, why not? No, that was Thursday night Smackdowns.
Yeah.
Anyway.
At least they're not like Impact, where every time they move to a new channel, they're on a different day.
We're on a different time stamp.
Yeah, because like the only day, like even Solid Monster talked about this, the only day they haven't moved to is Sundays.
And nobody's going to watch it on Sunday.
Remember when they tried to move to Mondays and compete with Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, it worked for a while.
It worked for like a month.
Until Raw went to 3 hours. That's when they started doing 3 hours.
They moved from Mondays to Thursdays to Wednesdays and Fridays. Listen, again, the only day they haven't moved is Sundays. I mean, who really watches wrestling on Sundays unless you have to catch up with some stuff?
Or it's pay-per-view.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, on this episode, this one in particular, this is talking about top 10 Raw superstars that need to go to SmackDown.
Yes.
Now, I say we, but he did it.
Yeah.
He made this list prior to the McMahon shakeup.
Yes.
Post TLC.
Yes.
And you still feel the same way.
I mean, if you want to add somebody.
No, you made this list.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to be the mouthpiece. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I still feel this way. Why don't we just go ahead and get on with the list or whatever.
Number 10.
Bayley.
It's Bayley.
Man, Bayley.
God, she has been so underutilized since debuting.
I saw somebody say Bayley is like the RG3 of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Because, like, she had all this momentum coming up to the main roster. She was one of the hottest acts in NXT. And since then, she's had one shitty title reign. And what have they done with her since?
Therapy. This is your life. More therapy. You ain't shit. Back to therapy. Best friends.
Boy, they dropped the ball on that you ain't shit. I thought about that the other day. I said, man, when she told Sasha Banks she wasn't shit, they could have easily just ran the fuck out of that.
They could have ran it like they did Becky Lynch.
Boy. But she really needs a rebirth. I could definitely see her on SmackDown having matches with the likes of
The Man,
Charlotte, Asuka, Naomi, the Iconics. Mandy Rose. Sonya Deville. I think she could definitely have a clash with Sonya Deville.
Oh, yeah.
But, hopefully they'll right the wrongs with Bayley come 2019.
Number 9.
Ronda Rousey. Now, there was a rumor a few weeks ago that Fox apparently wants Ronda on SmackDown, which would definitely draw star value.
I mean, she has not, she's not laid a potato since debuting.
Yeah. Ronda, she's definitely made a mark for herself. She's definitely made a name for herself in the 8 months she's been in WWE. I mean, her first match at WrestleMania, she really impressed everybody, us included.
Yeah.
And like you said, she has not laid one goose egg.
Yeah.
She and Nia Jax had a good match, though we feel like she basically carried most of the match. But, with her on...
Wait, was that the first go-around, or are you talking about TLC?
Both.
I feel like Money in the Bank was a lot better because we weren't dealing with the face breaker.
Well, true. I'll give you that. But for the most part, not that I'm saying Nia didn't do her thing. She carried somewhat of the match, but it was mostly Ronda.
Yeah, I mean, while Ronda isn't the best on the mic, she has steadily improved in the ring.
Right.
But we're not saying she needs to move to SmackDown for a complete character rebirth, because let's face it, this entire list is basically, fresh start, fresh start.
Yeah.
For Ronda, it's because SmackDown wants to be more Fox wants SmackDown to be more sports oriented. That's why they have. That's why they want DC on commentary.
Yeah, because a lot of people say that his last match could be against Brock for the UFC heavyweight title. And, I mean, I don't know about Danny Cormier. I mean, I'm not saying DC would be horrible because he's commentated for MMA, for UFC before, but, I mean, who knows?
I mean, apparently he loves wrestling.
Yeah, he does. And he's a big fan of it. And you can tell he's a real, true fan of the sport. So is Ronda. But as far as she goes, you know, it's a rumor, but we'll see how everything shapes out between now and October 2019.
Number 8.
Sami Zayn. Let's talk about Sami Zayn.
The returning Sami Zayn.
Yeah, now he was on Jericho's podcast recently, and, you know, he says, you know, I miss being in the ring, but I really don't miss it. I mean, this guy, he's going to be coming off double shoulder surgery. That really sucks.
Sucks about as much as double knee surgery.
Ugh. I mean, Kevin Owens and Goldust had it, so.
Well, you know what? If you take Kevin Owens' good arms, put them on Sami Zayn's good body, not only will you have a weird-ass wrestler that you can book the fuck out of, you'd also have one of the best wrestlers to book the fuck out of.
You know, Sami, I'm looking forward to his comeback, and I think he'll do well in his comeback. Hopefully they'll put a damn belt on him for once.
No. We're going to have him deal with more transgender sisters.
Anyway,
but yeah,
he could go to SmackDown. Not to cut you off, but he could go to SmackDown and have a killer match with, say, like AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan.
Oh, definitely. But I'd raised it a point higher. I'd say either Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
because KO's coming off the shelf pretty soon too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be a little bit later compared to Sami Zayn, but 2 weeks ago they just ran his KO hype package.
Yeah, so. In the same way with Sami Zayn, but you know, going back to KO really, he was one of the few that really carried that SmackDown brand. Like when they first started doing the brand split again.
Yeah.
I mean, the face of America, that was a really good gimmick.
Oh yeah. When he won the Universal title.
Yeah. And then got squashed by Goldberg in like 2 seconds.
After one of the greatest segments on Raw.
Yes. Are you talking about that?
The Festival of Friendship.
Oh my God. Anyway, going back to Sami Zayn, we'll see what the future holds when he makes his WWE return. Because I think if you put him on SmackDown, he can really do a lot more than what he was doing on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, definitely.
So.
Number 7.
Chad Gable. Boy, had they done wrong by Chad Gable.
Now, they've started redeeming him by making him tag team champion.
Yeah.
You know, after they got through with that whole AOPP thing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about prior to that. I mean, it was so many rumors about, oh, they're going to do this with Chad Gable, they're going to do that with Chad Gable. They didn't do shit with Chad Gable. And, you know, going back to his current run with Bobby Roode, you know, it's nice, but he's so much better than that. He could go on SmackDown and have hella matches with Andrade Cien Almas, AJ Styles, Shelton Benjamin,
Daniel Bryan,
Mustafa Ali, AJ Styles. He could put on...
You said AJ Styles twice.
Oh, I did? Oh,
yes.
Shit. I meant to say, hell, one of the Usos.
One of the Usos. Yeah.
Yeah, or one of the New Day guys. He could go in there and hold his own, even when he was with Jason Jordan in American Alpha. He could hold his own. I mean, his amateur background in wrestling really tells the story. And it really shows.
Oh, definitely. Of course, the one missing thing they could have done with Chad Gable, and I know you're going to groan and roll your eyes at this, but think about it for a second. They could have made him Kurt Angle's bastard child.
Yeah, they could have. And I'm kind of glad I forgot about that bullshit storyline.
I mean, me too, but it made more sense than Jason Jordan.
Yeah, I just felt like it was just something they threw at the wall, be like, hey, let's let that stick. Oh, wait, it's not going to stick, so we'll just run with it anyway.
Because, I mean, you look at Chad Gable as compared to Kurt Angle, they both have the amateur wrestler background.
Mm-hmm.
They both went to the Olympics for their country,
mm-hmm.
Granted, different results. They also have that dorky look on their face.
Yeah, they do.
Anyway.
So, basically, like you said, Chad Gable is Kurt Angle 2.0.
It was just a missed opportunity.
Big missed opportunity.
Anyway. Number 6.
Ruby Riott.
Now, we had just recorded the Christmas episodes of Raw and SmackDown, our review about that. And I said, the Riot Squad as a whole, it's pretty much Ruby Riot and the other two.
Yeah, because it's like, I even made the comparison of like Destiny's Child. It's like Beyonce and Kelly and Michelle are under her because Beyonce's the star. Not that I'm saying the other two aren't, but it's just the spotlight is more on Beyonce. It's like Ruby Riott. The spotlight is more on her because she's the more aggressive one. Everybody else in the group just falls back.
Because, I mean, like I said on that recap, Ruby Riott is killing it while the others are getting killed.
Yeah. Sarah Logan, they constantly talk about her and her Viking gimmick or whatever.
Her Viking pastime.
Yeah, and Liv Morgan, she's too busy trying to figure out what color her hair should be and her tongue.
And her tongue, yeah. Now let's move on. Number 5.
Bobby Roode.
We just talked about Chad Gable, and good God, they have dropped the ball hard with Bob Roode.
Now, when Bobby Roode came into NXT, you might as well say at the time he was the hottest heel in NXT before Tommaso Ciampa.
I think for 3 of his NXT appearances, he was strict babyface until he cut that scathing heel promo.
Yeah, and then it just went like this, like a full 360.
And full 360 and then up.
Yes, and it did not stop. It was just all the way up, like the song said. It was just all the way up, and it stayed that way. He got on the main roster. You know, everybody knows the Glorious song. They sung the song, and they kept him babyface. Why?
That stupid smile, even though he looked like he was dead inside.
Yes, and you know they put the U.S. title on him.
I forgot.
He and Jinder Mahal are the two people I forgot even held that belt this year.
Jinder Mahal, I briefly remember because I think he walked into WrestleMania with it.
Yeah, and I think we picked. He had that fatal 4-way. It was him, Rude,
Orton,
and
Rusev.
And then they put the tag titles on him. You know, they got a nice little gimmick with him and Chad Gable. But it's just like you transition him to SmackDown. He could compete for the WWE title. He could be in that conversation for the championship. Why not do the same thing for him on Monday Night Raw? He could be in the conversation for the Intercontinental title or the Universal title when it's actually shown on TV.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to number 4.
Bray Wyatt. Oh, boy.
Now, earlier in the program, we talked about Sami Zayn and KO getting their hype packages played. Bray Wyatt was another one that got his hype package played.
I don't remember it.
I distinctly remember it.
Because he's been on the house show circuit lately.
He was at Starrcade for that part of that match that didn't air.
I think he was at a recent house show in Uniondale, New York.
Yeah.
But other than that, what have they done with him? Nothing.
They need to send him to SmackDown to rejuvenate because regardless of how shit his run has been,
yes,
SmackDown at least put 2 titles on him.
The tag titles and the WWE title, though he held the title for a cup of change. And he had that shitty ass match with Randy Orton. With Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, I even seen people saying that he should come back and win the Royal Rumble.
It would be a great moment, depending on who the fans are favoring in that match.
Yeah, I don't see it, but I really hope they, bring him back for the Rumble.
What they need to do is, since SmackDown is so faction heavy, because I mean, you got Sanity, you got New Day, you got.
You did have the Bar until Big Show got hurt.
That doesn't count. Anyway, but WWE's going in this faction-heavy direction. Why not bring back the Wyatt family? Minus Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Because the Wyatt family, when they showed up, ignoring the fact they got buried by Cena, Wyatt family killed it as soon as they popped up on main roster.
And then, remember they were having those classic 6-mans with the Shield?
The Shield, the Usos, and somebody else, they were killing it.
Because one of those 6-mans with the Shield, like, I forgot what pay-per-view it was. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I've heard several people on their podcast talk about, like, the fans were chanting, this was awesome, and the bell didn't even ring yet.
I think that was at Mania. Mania 30.
No, they didn't have a match yet.
They had it.
The Shield versus the Wyatt family?
Yeah, they had a match at Mania.
I don't remember that.
I I remember it
I
distinctly
know
because it was
because
a killer match.
WrestleMania 30, Bray Wyatt took on John Cena.
Okay, well,
And remember, the Shield took on the New Age Outlaws and Kane.
okay. It was one of the WrestleManias, but it was still a killer match.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to go back because I don't remember that. Anyway,
Number 3.
Sasha Banks. Now, Sasha has pretty much been in the same realm as Bayley. They have really dropped the ball as far as Bayley goes this year. I mean, Sasha goes this year.
Except for it's worse with Sasha. She has been all happy, smiley, baby face.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly dropped the ball, like you said earlier with Bayley. They could have easily turned her heel. They could have easily turned her heel like she was in NXT. Because at that time, during the early days of NXT, she was like the hottest female heel on the brand.
Because they took that boss gimmick and ran with it. Now it's just a merch seller. That's it.
Yeah, it's just like they ran with it and they just like ran through a brick wall with it. But now it's just like,
What? Even when she got to main roster. Well, ignoring the the start of the Divas Evolution or whatever, where they had those 3 factions.
yeah, she was somewhat of a heel.
Yeah, after they rebranded it the women's division, her and Charlotte, albeit they played hot potato, but they played hot potato with that title in killer matches.
Yeah. I mean, if you put Sasha on SmackDown and you take some of the other girls from SmackDown and transition them to Raw, I really feel like the women's division, as far as SmackDown goes, Sasha could carry the fuck out of that division.
Oh yeah.
She would be like top notch. Like nobody would be able to touch her.
And I'm probably going to bring this up in tomorrow's episode of 3 Count, but if you keep her on SmackDown in that tag team division, you could call up Bianca Belair and put her on a tag team with Sasha.
Oh my god. If not that, put her in a feud for the women's title.
Feud first, then tag team.
Oh my god. Yes, definitely. Let's move on.
Number 2.
The Revival.
Now, we made this list way before their recent turnaround, back when they were a joke to the Lucha House Party.
Yeah, the Revival, there are several talents in WWE that have had quite the shitty year, and the Revival is definitely up there. I mean, let's take Raw 25 for example.
Actually, let's dial it back for the Revival. It's not just been a shitty year, it's been a shitty call-up for them.
Yeah, because it was after WrestleMania, they got called up.
Because they got into this great potential program with the New Day.
Yeah, and the New Day put them over like $1 million.
Yeah, and they injured Kofi, and they ran with it. Like, promo-wise, they ran with it.
Yeah, then they got hurt.
One of them got hurt, came back for a drink of coffee. Other one got hurt.
Yeah.
Then when they finally came back, they got buried at Raw 25.
Well, before that, they weren't really being used on TV. Then they went to Raw 25, got buried by Balor Club and D-Generation X at the same time.
I think they also got buried by wasn't Scott Hall and Kevin Nash there?
Oh, yeah, the Clique.
Yeah, the Clique.
It was the Clique, Balor Club, and DX. They got buried by all 3 groups.
Yeah.
And since then, it's all been downhill from there.
Until the McMahon shakeup, where they became #1 contenders, and they put on a killer Christmas Eve match against Rude and Gable.
Yeah, I feel like, hopefully this will be a revival for the Revival.
Pun intended.
If you put them on SmackDown, they could have killer matches with teams like The Bar, New Day, Usos. Hell, even, I'll say Sanity, if they actually use them properly.
The Colognes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, the Revival, basically, they should be, they're on Raw right now, and they should really have this tag team division on lock. I feel like they would definitely have the division on lock had neither one of them got injured.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I said, you send them to SmackDown, and I feel like they'll just shoot straight through the tag team division. They'll definitely be the aces of the tag team division, so to speak.
Yeah. So the only prospect looking for them is they either jump ship, turn ship around, or they'll sell their ship and go to All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, or be like the Titanic and hit the iceberg. and just crash.
Anyway, let's move on to number 1.
Finn Balor.
You knew he was coming.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's just had a rotten string of luck since being called up. Because his first night on Raw, he becomes number 1 contender to the Universal title.
He beats Roman Reigns his first night.
He beats Roman Reigns. I think that's when Roman was in the middle of his punishment.
Yeah, because didn't he get popped for a drug test or something?
Got popped for a drug test. Only thing I remember out of that was him becoming U.S. champ.
Yeah, I think that's where he became U.S. champ. He got popped for the drug test, and they had him drop the title due to the fact that...
No. They had him drop out of the main event picture down to the U.S. title.
Yeah.
They had him pick up the U.S. title because Cena said, you had that U.S. title as a punishment.
Yeah, I remember it now.
Anyway, back to Finn Balor. He put on a stellar match against Seth Rollins, even though the crowd spent all that match shitting on the Universal title.
Yeah, because that shit does look ugly.
Yeah. He threw out his shoulder in the middle of the match. Granted, it was an accident.
Yeah.
No blame on Seth there.
Yeah.
And then the very next night on Raw, he vacates it.
Yeah, he was out for a good, 6 months?
About
6 to 8 months, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
He comes back, and since then, it really hasn't picked up. I mean, he had a stellar match at WrestleMania. What was that match?
He was in a triple threat at WrestleMania.
Triple threat. Oh, it's for the Intercontinental title.
He had a stellar match against...
The Miz and Seth Rollins.
Yeah. He had a stellar match against AJ Styles last year at TLC.
Yeah, because that's when he was supposed to face Bray Wyatt, but he got sick.
It wasn't TLC. It was October because they tried to do Pumpkin Balor, and then when Bray Wyatt no-showed, they said, nope, back to Demon.
Yeah, because remember, they flew AJ in. He was on that 18-hour flight. And he was gassed as shit.
It was before Smackdown because... Oh, it was before Survivor Series because the next night on Raw, they had the Smackdown invasion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, kudos to AJ. Being that he was on a flight overseas, he still put on a heller match.
Yeah. Back to Finn Balor. He just middled around, hung out with Gallows and Anderson for a good bit.
They didn't do shit with that.
Middled around, helped bury the Revival at Raw 25.
We just got done talking about that.
Then middled around again, finally gets his Universal title opportunity against Roman.
That was a good match.
That was a great match despite losing it. And recently, he's just beaten Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, I mean, there are rumors saying that he's going to get a real big push in 2019. I doubt that.
But they were saying that this time last year.
Yeah, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, Finn Balor, he recently did an interview where he said, you could put me in a ring at Walmart, and I don't care. What is blue brand, red brand, hell, put me in a ring at Walmart, and I'll still go. All I care about is being in the ring.
I mean, kudos to him for having a positive attitude, but they've got to do something.
They need to do more with Finn, because, Finn could really carry that brand if they let him. Excuse me, because you talked about the stuff with Gallows and Anderson. I really thought they were going to do something with that.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos for them to use Gallows and Anderson 2 weeks in a row, but since then, they ain't done shit with them.
Hell, send Balor to Smackdown. Keep Gallows and Anderson and Styles there. Have them form a sect of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck you get to be leader in that scenario, but...
I say they'd be co-leader, because in certain scenarios, they could carry the group.
No leader. Boom.
There. But anyway...
Just be Undisputed Era with that shit. No leader.
Finn Balor, he would definitely be a primetime player on SmackDown.
Especially having matches against the likes of... I'm going to ignore Shinsuke Nakamura on this one because rematches from outside the company don't pan out, especially this year.
Yeah.
So I'll say he'll put on classics against, AJ Styles again, Mustafa Ali, Daniel Bryan, Shelton Benjamin,
Almas.
Ooh, definitely.
Hope.
Jeff Hardy.
Samoa Joe.
Oh, rehash his rivalry with Joe.
Oh my God.
Oh, that'd be killer.
That was classic. But he could definitely be in the conversation as far as the WWE Championship goes. If you let Finn Balor do him on SmackDown, if you let him just be him, I tell you what, that brand would definitely be something
Too sweet.
Too sweet. It would definitely be something to watch for with Finn Balor in the fold.
Oh, definitely.
So those are our 10 Raw superstars who should go to SmackDown. Now next time we'll have another one where 10 SmackDown superstars should go to Raw.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you watch it before or after. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We're just cranking out this list before 2019 comes to an end.
Yeah, and everybody else has their different lists, but like you said, I came up with this list. We came up with this list way before the McMahon shakeup. So we'll see how everything pans out next year for Raw and SmackDown, especially SmackDown going to Fox with that big $1.5 billion contract for the next 10 years or so, 5 years, however long it is.
Yeah, as long as Fox wants to keep them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, I am War Machine MJ. He's Dicky.
Yep.
And we are the 3 Count Mafia, and we will see you guys next time.